Recording, and it seems the recording icon seems to be on. So yeah, it is the 26th of April 2023. Welcome to the community call, everyone. We have Stephen here, we have Jose, we have Daniel. We try to keep these calls very relaxed. We just kind of chat about the newsletter, and it's an open space. Just raise your hand if you'd like to talk, and yeah, we can just pretty much kick it off. Daniel, Stephen, feel free to take over parts of the newsletter, and we can just tag team maybe, go through the newsletter. I invited Jose as well to speak about Fediment because he's been helping out a lot on the Fediment side of things. So, Stephen, maybe you want to take the first one. That's the Discord, the Discord one.
Yeah, we moved to Discord. I don't have the newsletter pulled up at the moment because I'm chronically underprepared. But yeah, we it's just been a long discussion in the community about what's the appropriate chat platform. We were losing a lot of history with Slack, a lot of conversation history, and if a conversation would go stale for a couple months, and then when you want to revisit it or find some information, it would be gone. So had kind of an open discussion in the community about it, and I proposed Discord, and we talked about it, and yeah, so now we're on Discord. So yeah, I mean the old Slack will be live still, and I mean people are free to use it if they want to, but I think like most of the activity will probably be in the Discord moving forward.
You made a super cool graphic, which I managed to extract from the Word document and add it to the newsletter. It's really cool. I really like the design. So yeah, thanks for putting that together. And then we're on the community call right now, which is point number 2. And then Jose, you're the Fediment guy. So we've kicked off a couple calls on Fediment in the Fediment's had a couple calls in the design community, and Jose's kind of been taking a bit of the lead there with that. So we've invited him to chat about it. So yeah, floor's yours, Jose.
Thank you, Mo. Welcome, everyone. We jump with the Fediment project. We kick off like 3 weeks ago, I think, if I'm not wrong. So we have been discussing and understanding the different flow of the project. We are currently focusing on the setting up the federation. So we are discussing about the different user personas that this product could use, and also the different journeys that they could go through. We had an interesting call today where someone shared with us some high-level wireframes with some ideas. We were discussing it. So we have also some ideas about how to collect some user feedback also. We have some tasks to do. We need to reach on developers because at the moment this is going to be very tech driven. So we're gonna try to approach some developers to get some feedback about how they are setting their federations. And there are a lot of things going on, and the call today was great. So we are now looking for people that can focus on find the right users that they're gonna set up the federations. We are gonna also to review the prototypes that they were shared on the discussion today, and also for the next call we are going to make an exercise of the user journey with the different different user personas that have been defined. Yeah, so we have 3 calls, but there are a lot of things going on. Anyone can jump in anytime. We have our calls on Wednesday. You can find us on Discord, on the Fediment Discord. Anyone that want to join us.
Can I jump in with a question, Jose?
Sure, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm super interested in hearing, what the kind of live state of Fedimint are there any federations that are operating, that are live at the moment that you know of?
There might be some, but I'm not aware of any. I'm not aware of anyone using it at the time. But as I mentioned, I just jumped into the project like 3 weeks ago. So I've been mainly trying to understand the protocol.
Makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Daniel, while we have you on the call, I know we didn't add any updates about BDG in the newsletter as well, but feel free to just chat about BDG as well because that's something that you're working on at the moment. If you'd like, of course.
Yeah, I'm happy to give a quick update when it makes sense. I'm actually quite excited at the moment because the LDK node project is starting to mature and can use that. So yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Those emojis look so cool when they're so interactive. Steven threw an emoji and then you just see it flying off his face. There we go. Intuitive guys given 1 of 2. Okay, we're going crazy with emojis here at the moment. That's quite an interesting user experience they've created in these nests. It's pretty cool to look at.
Maybe I realized that I only teased an update, and maybe I should just finish it off while we're on the subject.
Go for it. Go for it.
Coming back to it. So for those who don't know, BDG is basically short just for the Bitcoin Design Guide wallet, and I've been trying to build some of the reference designs in the guide, primarily for the iOS and iPhone platform to begin with, and starting with a daily spending wallet reference design. And that obviously works as a hybrid wallet, so both on-chain and Lightning. It's been quite tricky up until now, although BDK and LDK, the kind of respective code packages, have matured a lot. But LDK has been fairly tricky to set up on mobile. So LDK node is sort of a ready to go node, if you like, that makes it a lot easier for developers. So I'm just starting to test, I guess, the alpha or the beta of that as of last week, but it's looking very promising. So I'm hoping can make some more progress very, very soon and actually have that hybrid wallet up and running. And I'm also looking into how we can overcome some of the other user experience problems, like funding channels and being ready to receive as soon as you've installed the wallet. So looking into some of the LSP providers at the moment, and currently looking at Voltage to test that out, because they have basically these kind of just-in-time channels that enables a user to receive without first funding an opening of a channel and stuff. So yeah, lots to come there, I hope. But yeah, exciting times thanks to LDK node.
It's awesome. I want to check out LDK node sometime.
It is really on the cusp. It's still not really released, but they are getting very close, I think, to a 1.0 or at least a 0.1, which makes it usable. So yeah, they've been making really great progress there.
Is it the repo just called LDK node?
Yes, and it's under Lightning Dev Kit, I think. But you may have to dig around a little bit, because it's not the master channel is not actually kind of where all the latest bits are. But the best place to find out about it is to jump in the LDK -node channel on the LDK Discord. That's where you
got it.
Can find out the state of things.
Awesome, thanks.
If anyone in the audience has any questions for Daniel about BDK, feel free to raise your hand, and I can just invite you onto the stage, and you can ask your question or or speak if you like. So just feel free to, do a thumbs up or raise your hand, and we'll just invite you onto the stage.
Yeah, and to clarify for everybody that we're building on lots and lots of other people's great work on the code side here. So BDK stands for the Bitcoin Development Kit, LDK stands for the Lightning Development Kit, and they are both kind of taking care of the hardcore stuff. And then I'm coming in to try and actually build, the user-facing wallet and the designs we've been working on in the design guide. But yeah, otherwise, you can also reach out later. So yeah, maybe we should continue on the great newsletter.
Cool. The next one
journey.
is the accessibility. So that's a nice one. That's coming up pretty much in 18, 19 days. It's the Global Accessibility Awareness Day. So the community is planning to do a bit of an initiative around that one. Christoph has kicked off what we call the let me just go to this GitHub link over here, the accessibility fix hit list. So it's kind of all of the the wallets that we've tested out as a community. And once we test out a wallet, we pretty much we just run some accessibility tests on a wallet. We screenshot those, we put those into Figma, and then we just we just let the different projects know. So far they've been some that's done on Blue Wallet, on Moon, on Blockstream Green, Zeus, Phoenix, and Breeze. So anyone's free to help out on that one as well, if you're interested in accessibility. The next one is BTC Prague. The community is also arranging to be at BTC Prague as well. A couple of us will be there. I don't know if you're going as well, Stephen.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Ah, cool, nice. And you as well, Daniel, or not sure yet. Oh, maybe that didn't go through. But yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I missed the question. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just asking Stephen if he was going to BTC Prague, and I was wondering if you were going as well.
Right. Yes. No, I don't think I can make that one, unfortunately. But it looks very exciting.
Yeah, we'll have something on the hack day there. So Stephen sent over some nice ideas that we can do on hack day, and then we'll have a booth at the conference as well. Just try to introduce people to the community. So if anyone in the audience is going, we'd be happy to see you there. We've got a conference channel in Discord, and we'll be working in there as well, and sharing the stuff that we'll be doing there. The next one is the research one. I guess that one's mine as well. The UX research calls. We're building the UX research toolkit. It's just really one or two pieces of content that need to be written for that one. One is the design sprint. And then the other one is, I cannot finish off the usability testing one, which has quite a few aspects to it. And then we're planning to test out the kit again on an audience, on builders, and see how that goes. Stephen, do you want to take over a bit? I feel like I'm talking too much.
Yeah. So we were just talking about accessibility there. I'm sorry, the UX research kit. So we did another jam session earlier this week on the design guide. There should be links in the newsletter for that. You can watch it on Bitcoin TV, YouTube. I think some of the things we discussed were like just updating some definitions for certain things in the guide. And yeah, I don't like. It's not really a whole lot of projects going on right now. So I mean, I feel like we just kind of discussed like a handful of smaller issues and stuff on the call, right?
Yeah, there's a couple of issues that have been added to the milestone, and we pretty much discussed about how we could move those forward. I know Stain was working on a few of those, so he's provided some updates on those as well.
Yeah, and one thing actually I think that he was working on was providing the design guidance for purchasing Bitcoin within the wallet. That was an issue that Steve opened in our repo. Yeah, so basically it's kind of like this is about adding some design guidance for what it looks like for when you actually have to go through with a purchase, because a lot of the stuff in the guide already is kind of like assuming that the user already has Bitcoin or something like that. Um, Kind of another one that is being worked on right now is that Stan is working on is some more documentation on how to approach sending fees. I think one thing we kind of discussed on the call the other day was that, like, in my view, it's not really an issue with like Lightning, or it's not really an issue with on chain. I think that problem's kind of already been solved, but it is an issue with Lightning. The understanding how much a Lightning payment costs and fees is, like, I don't know, it's kind of a complicated thing to understand for the user. And then kind of another project going on with the guide right now is refreshing the projects page. It just hasn't really been shown any love in many months, and so some of the projects on there are kind of outdated. And there's also a lot of projects on there that are brand new, or not brand new, but just projects that have sprung up in the time since it was last updated, that should be added. So there's an issue open for that on the repo. Probably gonna be adding Win Taproot, saving Satoshi, wallet scrutiny, all that good stuff. So if you have any ideas for projects that should be added to that page, just remind us, let us know in the issue, linked in the newsletter. Okay, I'm going to popcorn it back to you, Mo. I have no idea what's going on with this Coinbits thing. What is it?
Oh, I've this one I'm not too familiar. Ah, yes, that's in the Slack channel. Rancho,
Oh, we don't go there.
yeah, Ranchuan. That's why I had to jog my memory a bit. Ranchuan posted in the feedback channel. I'll just pull it up here. Seeking feedback. Bitcoin design crits. Yeah, here it is. Hey everyone, been working on an update for our dashboard, which is coinbits.app, and was wondering if I could get some feedback. I've been having some trouble with making the dashboard more focused and more guided. He says right now it feels quite overwhelming with all the features that we offer, so he just wanted some feedback. Christoph gave him some feedback on that one. He commented a bit. So that's just 5 days ago. So it's very much still open to feedback. It's in the Slack if anyone wants to jump in there. There's a link to it.
Well, my feedback is that apparently, I guess we're officially allowed to use the color green again.
Why do you say that?
Well, because they have a lot of green on their website, and they even have the Bitcoin logo in green. But
Yeah,
conspicuously, it says Coinbits Cash
yeah.
with a green Bitcoin next to it. So I don't know. So you look at it when you're glancing through the page, it looks a lot like Bitcoin Cash. So, but I don't know. It's a bold move using green again.
Nostr gang gave 100%. By the way, the people in the audience, feel free to jump on. If you want to chat, just throw a thumbs up, and we'll invite you onto stage. So, um, yeah, cool. Yeah, this one Mo's working on some guidelines on how to contribute a case study to the guide. So that would be me. 1 or 2 months ago, we added the first case study to the guide. So I kind of used the framework of putting together a case study, and pretty much just wrote it up in a Google document. And the idea would be, if people want to contribute to the guide in terms of a case study, how to kind of roughly structure, a case study. It's not a fixed structure, but it's just a loose guideline on how to put one together. And Daniel, I'll hand it over to you unless you need to leave. But if you want to do the next one, feel free.
Yeah, let me just switch over to my email. Sorry, I was I was distracted. Which one did you just do?
So we're on seeking feedback, and then Blockstream. The next one is Blockstream.
Yeah, so yeah, those of you who have been in the space for a while, you probably heard of both Blockstream, the company, and Green, their wallet app, which is kind of a fairly easy to use wallet. And Yep, another one where it's always worth giving you feedback. It always helps. We know that as designers. So go check it out. Yeah, it doesn't take long to give feedback, but I know for a fact that it's extremely useful to give it, to get it. Also useful to give it, but very useful to get it. So yeah, let's help them out. Everything else, yeah, there's lots of good stuff here. I'll take a few off the list. So the Bitcoin product community, which has sprung up after the Bitcoin design community, they have their own. I guess it's still a Slack. I'm not sure. Maybe it's when they went to Discord straight away. But anyway, they have a reading club, and it's tomorrow. So check that out if you're into the more product side. And there's some things that have already happened. So there's a couple of conversations here. 1 and 2, some links to some podcasts. I'm not aware of exactly when they were recorded at Bitcoin Park, but for those
April 12th.
April 12th, so very recently. But Bitcoin Park is a campus in Nashville focused on grassroots Bitcoin adoption. So nice one. Do you know anything more about the specifics of those two recordings, Stephen?
Yeah, funny enough, I'm in both of those recordings.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
You're the
this
right
was a
person.
yeah, we did a Bitcoin product and design summit in Nashville, and or actually no, not both of those. One of those is mine. The other one Connor is in actually, but yeah. So one of those panels is a product designer panel. So it's me and Michael from Reed from Wavelink, Andrew Yang from the product community, and Sahil, who's used to work at Unchained, and we're talking about product management, product design, and Bitcoin. And then there's the other panel that Connor's moderating with Harold and Mia, and they are talking about being designers in open source and how open design fits into open source projects. And there should be more podcasts coming from that day. Not all the talks, but many of the talks from the summit were recorded. So you'll probably see those going onto the Bitcoin Park, Fountain podcast page eventually.
Awesome, awesome. And I think we mentioned the accessibility fix list.
Yeah, I realize now that in my enthusiasm, I seem to add it in two times to the newsletter because we've had it at the top as well. But anyway,
Well, it's worth mentioning twice,
it
I think. It's a
is
goodie.
right. So yeah, Christoph, this was linked to the first one, but we're also just really inviting people. We have all these accessibility, issues that we've spotted in wallets of how they can be improved, but we've spotted them. But on the development side, for all of these wallets, if you know how to code and how to develop, it would be great if you could, if you have some time to jump in and fix those issues. So yeah, that's the that one. I know, Stephen, you mentioned that a lot of people were very interested in the talk about how to become a designer in the space. And I was just curious about that one in terms of what the guys shared about becoming a designer in the space, because you mentioned that was a bit of a popular one that people were interested in.
Wasn't there?
No?
Um,
Okay.
well, no, it's funny because we had two talks going on in two different rooms, and so Connor was hosting that one, and it wasn't specifically focused around designers, it was more general, like how to build a career, but I'm sure he did speak to the designer side of things. But it was apparently it was I think I heard it was very, very well attended and sounded like an engaged audience. But I wasn't personally in the room when that happened.
Cool. And then the next thing in the newsletter is there's a link to the Spiral second quarter update. And for those who don't know, Spiral is a great organization. It used to be called Square Crypto, but is now Spiral, and they do all sorts of sponsoring and building in the community. And yeah, the link goes to a little update they have for their second quarter. So it actually goes through quite a lot of the things we've already touched on. they had a summit at Bitcoin Park. They sponsor, well, they're the main builders of LDK, and they have a kind of an update on the progress there. They also sponsor BDK. There's BDK is actually getting close to kind of a 1.0 release, which is a big milestone where lots of the API will be more stable. There's also an update in their report about us, the Bitcoin design community, what we've been up to. They also mentioned the product community and some of the new grants and renewals they've been up to. So yeah, always worth a read. What's next? Opportunities. Yeah, I mean, if anybody's looking for new roles or things to get busy with or jobs in the space, the opportunities channel in Discord, previously Slack, has always been a good place. People post a lot there. Some juicy ones actually here. Block, another kind of Square. Well, they've changed all sorts of names, haven't they? But Block is the thing that they're trying to build a Bitcoin wallet outside of their kind of custodial business, and they're looking for a product designer. And I've looked at this role, and it seems really interesting. If you're looking for a job, go have a look. Another one is from Minerva. I don't know much about, but they are also looking. And the third one, well, actually, look, Spiral again. They're looking to build an R&D team focused on security, decentralization, privacy, and scaling. So again, if you're into the hardcore stuff, that looks like a really interesting one. So yeah, lots going on in opportunities. And I think that's most of our newsletter done. So now we're free to chat openly. Unless I missed something, Mo.
No, thank you so much for doing that, Daniel. I really appreciate you doing all of the opportunities ones. It's been so nice to just tag. This has been so nice, just tag teaming and just you chatting a bit, and then Steven, and then me. It's been such a nice way of going through the newsletter. It's yeah.
Yeah, gotta help out.
Yeah.
For some reason, I often tend to be either on a bike or moving around when these calls are, and this time I wasn't because I got the time zone wrong again, but
Ah,
turned out to be right. For some reason, GMT doesn't seem to be aligned with UTC at the moment, which is always confusing me.
yeah. I was looking at I have it pulled up now. The last opportunity you mentioned is hiring Bitcoin wizards. We're building an R&D team of Bitcoin wizards. They really did some good copy on this one. When you click in and you look at Spiral is the first open source. There's a bit of an introduction here, and then they speak about your qualifications. Finally, strong people skills are a must. Many projects will require attaining developer consensus, including the Bitcoin's consensus protocol. So they give a couple of example projects here, but it's really nice. It's rare that I see a job description written with this sense of flair. I have to say, it's worth taking a look at. But yeah, I mean, if there's anything you guys want to chat about, yeah, feel free.
Hmm.
Just an opportunistic question, and maybe Stephen knows a bit more about this than me. I remember there was some discussions fairly recently about the merchant section in the guide. That's have we taken a pause on that? Do you know, Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, because basically I was the only one working on it, and I'm just like, yeah, fairly busy these days, and yeah, I mean, if somebody else wants to jump in and help out with it, then that would be cool. But I've been really, really focused, at least on the open source side of things, like outside of my work at Voltage. I've been dedicating most of my open source time to the Bolt 12 project, and just trying to work on the UX of the kind of rollout of a new payment format. So that's where a lot of my energy has been going. And yeah, I've kind of the merchants thing has kind of been withering on the vine. But yeah, if anybody else is looking to help out with that, we could get it going again.
Yeah, completely understand. You got more than enough on your plate. But thanks for reminding me. And I think it would be great as a community as a whole to figure out who can help us get that live, because I think it's one of those really juicy missing pieces in the guide so far. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, looking forward to it. And it's not a one man or one person effort ever, anything in the guide. So yeah, definitely we need more help.
Yeah, it's fun to see how when something gets pushed live, of how everyone just rallies in together, and then there's the final touches, and then there's the final push push to live. It's so much of fun watching it. But yeah. But Steve, how is it working in the world of node management, in a node management platform? That's another world. I touched very lightly on the node management stuff with Bolt Observer. Was helping them a bit with their UX research process setup. But how is the world of node management?
Good. It's yeah, very different than the world of wallet design. It's a completely different type of user you're building for. It's like a lot of times when we work on these wallet designs and stuff, we're trying to think about like very, very broad use cases, like people using it in their daily lives, and like people not what I'm looking for, just like you just have a variety of different types of skill level and experience level with Bitcoin, and so trying to kind of plan and prepare for that, getting them through the process of custodying their coins safely. The node management software, on the other hand, is just entirely different. I mean, this user group is much, much more technical, and it's like, the same kind of tactics almost don't work. Um, Obviously, always looking for ways to simplify things and make things easier, but it's like, you know, whereas in the, like daily spending wallet, we were trying to, you know, take technical things and kind of tuck them away and, you know, neatly, hide them under an advanced options kind of thing. It's like, when you're dealing with management, it's the exact opposite. It's a lot of times these highly technical things are actually exactly what the user is looking for, and you don't want them hidden. You actually want them much closer to the surface.
Yeah, I'm having to deal with some of those things we've tucked under, hidden under the carpet in the reference designs now that I'm actually trying to build it. But yeah, it's super interesting. Um, and I see some positive signs actually with many of the Lightning service providers jumping into these kind of just-in-time channels. And there's actually a kind of an emerging spec as well for these providers, so that as a wallet builder, you're kind of not just tied into one of them, and that's really promising as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
thing
balls.dev.
yeah, many of the kind of issues that we've been identifying and talking about for the last 2 years or more even, they're now kind of seeing some viable solutions on the horizon. So I'm really excited about seeing if we can actually pull off the user experience that we think should be there. I think we can, but it's just about becoming possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very excited about the work going on in the LSP spec. That's always a cool repo to follow. Then yeah, we have a product of Voltage called Flow. I think you kind of were alluding to it earlier, and the like latest version is going to have these just-in-time channels. It's only on testnet at the moment right now, unfortunately. Um, but that will one day change. But yeah, that might be something for you to look at. I know, since if you're just using testnet coins as you build this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been aiming for since I discovered it last week. It seems to be one of the few kind of options at the moment. I'm sure there'll be more in the next kind of 6 to 12 months, but at the moment, that seems to be the only one that I'm able to try. And I had to push the LDK node people gently to add some options for settings of accepting zero conf channels, lots of technical stuff that I hadn't touched before. But it's the nice thing here that you can just talk to the devs, and I was lucky that in just the same day I prodded them, they made a new fork that I could use. Yeah, pretty amazing. So I look forward to testing that out. Even if it's on testnet, that's perfectly fine for what I'm building at the moment. But yeah, good times.
Stephen, you also mentioned about the users wanting to see the. I was curious about that that users wanting to see a lot of technical stuff. Is that like more on the main dashboard, and is that like more with the liquidity stuff and managing liquidity, or like because I know I'm not too familiar with Voltage in terms of who their target user group is, whether that's just whether those are businesses or that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, usually businesses, I'd say that anyone can go and start a voltage node. Just a pleb who wants to run their own node can start a voltage node very easily. So that's a very good use case. But I think at least for the product I'm working on right now, which is Surge, um, uh, a lot of I think the customers for this will be people who run really large routing nodes, or maybe, which is kind of like a business because you're making money off of your routing node,
Yeah.
or people who, use a Lightning node to back their business. So it's a way different. Yeah. So in that context, like, these are people who are, kind of Lightning power users, and, spend a lot of time tinkering with their node and optimizing it. And so typically business, whether it's a large company or just kind of like a small, node operator, it's definitely usually, I'd say, for a business, use case.
And is there anything like in terms of, I know I heard it mentioned as well somewhere as in terms of automation, in terms of managing the liquidity and that kind of thing, and like, getting alerts in terms of when things go lower than a certain level, or is that more customizable on that front?
Yeah. We are working on some like alerting functionality and all of that. I can't speak too much about that right now because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still kind of an ongoing discussion. But yeah, there will be some kind of alerting. Um, in terms of automation, I mean, I don't know what the future holds. I mean, at this point, that's not the main thing. The main thing with the product right, now is that the Duo Surge is that when you have a Lightning node and if it has a lot of activity, there's a lot of stuff going on there, from payments being forwarded, payments you're receiving, payments that sometimes fail. What are the fees you're paying? There's a lot of like important factors, and so for like someone who's trying to like keep their node online all the time, they want to optimize these things, and but they there's so much data that they may not be able to make sense of the data on their own. And so a lot of what Surge is doing is trying to basically take the data, this wealth of data that their node produces, and be able to present it to the node operator in a way where they can actually draw meaningful information from it. So whether that's charts and graphs and stuff like that, or just bringing kind of actionable insights up to the surface. So yeah, it's really about helping these node operators like make sense of the data that their node is producing, and like being able to make good decisions based off that data.
Sorry, everybody. I'm going to have to jump off, but it's been a pleasure. And look forward to catching everybody on Discord.
Thank you for joining, Daniel. I think we're pretty much going to wrap it up as well. But yeah, thanks for joining. Thank you very much.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Oh, later, everyone.
Yeah, shall we wrap it up, Stephen?
Yeah. Let's,
Thanks.
go work the works.
Yeah, thanks to everyone for joining. And yeah, we'll see you on the next Nostr. Any last wise words from you, Stephen?
Just hug emoji. That's it.
All right. Cheers, everyone. I'll stop the recording. Bye-bye.
Later.